Alex Eala just arrived at the Australian Open, and she didn't come alone. The Filipino tennis star was spotted alongside Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, casually moving with two of the biggest names in the sport. Fans immediately went into overdrive because this isn't just about being seen together. It signals something much bigger about where Eala's career is headed and who's paying attention to her rise. Training, traveling, and publicly appearing with players of that caliber isn't random. It's a sign of respect. When you show up to a Grand Slam with Alcaraz and Sinner, you're not just another name in the draw. You're someone elite players believe belongs in their circle. Social media quickly filled with photos and clips of the trio, sparking one big question across the tennis world. How did Eala get here, and what does this mean for her trajectory? With momentum building fast, fans are already wondering, could working closely with players like Alcaraz and Sinner push Alex Eala into the top 30 this year?
First time I met Rafa, I was on the way to his academy. Oh my gosh, I was on the way to his academy because I was gonna try it out before we committed. I was just gonna try it out for a week, and then we ran into him in the airport, in the Madrid airport, and it's kind of embarrassing to say, we kind of ran after him. Like, not ran after, but we were fanning, fangirling, and then we told him, oh, we're going to your academy and stuff like that.
To understand how this connection even happened, you need one key detail. Alex Eala trains at the Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca, and that changes everything.
I would think this is a place for someone to learn new things and someone to be exposed to professionalism in tennis, to learn how to be disciplined and to learn how to socialize.
This is where elite players go to sharpen their skills under world-class coaching. The academy isn't just any training facility. It's a breeding ground for top-tier talent. Alcaraz has strong ties to the academy through his Spanish tennis roots, while Sinner is known for training at elite facilities across Europe during his off-season preparations. The fact that Eala is moving within the same training circles as these megastars tells you everything about how seriously the tennis world is taking her potential. You don't get invited into those practice sessions unless coaches and players truly believe you belong there. And you certainly don't get to hit regularly with Alcaraz, a multiple Grand Slam champion and former world #1, unless he believes you can genuinely push him in training. Now let's talk about where Eala currently stands in her career, because the timing of this Australian Open appearance alongside Alcaraz and Sinner couldn't be more perfect. She recently broke into the top 50 of the WTA rankings for the first time in her career after reaching the semifinals of the ASB Classic in Auckland. That's a massive milestone for any player, but it's especially significant for someone from the Philippines, where tennis doesn't enjoy the same infrastructure or support systems found in countries like the United States or Spain. Eala's rise has been nothing short of remarkable. Around this time last year, she was ranked 138 in the world, competing mainly on the ITF World Tour, the minor leagues of professional tennis. Fast forward to now, and she's guaranteed a spot in the main draw of the Australian Open, rubbing shoulders with the elite of the sport. That's not slow progress. That's explosive growth. Her true breakthrough came at the Miami Open last year, where she reached the semifinals and defeated Iga Swiatek along the way. Let that sink in. She beat a former world #1 and multiple Grand Slam champion. That wasn't a fluke. It was a statement. It was Eala announcing to the tennis world that she belongs on the biggest stages of the sport. After Miami, she reached her first WTA Tour final in Eastbourne. These aren't small events. These are prestigious tournaments where the very best players in the world compete. In just a few short months, Eala went from relative obscurity to must-watch tennis, and the tennis establishment took notice. Now here she is at the Australian Open, not just participating, but arriving alongside Alcaraz and Sinner as if it's the most natural thing in the world. The optics of that moment are powerful. Tennis fans see it and immediately understand that Eala isn't just another promising young player. She's someone the next generation of tennis legends already considers a peer. And that matters. Training with players like Alcaraz and Sinner has massive implications for Eala's development. When you practice against elite competition, every part of your game is forced to rise. You can't hide weaknesses because they'll be exposed instantly. Your footwork has to be sharper. Your shot selection has to be smarter. Your mental toughness has to be stronger. Alcaraz is famous for his athleticism and aggressive baseline style, and hitting with him exposes Eala to the kind of pace and power she'll regularly face against the very best players in the world. Sinner presents a completely different challenge. His consistency and ability to redirect pace make him one of the toughest players to break down. Practicing against that style prepares Eala for the long, grinding physical matches she'll need to win to continue climbing the rankings. Beyond the technical gains, there's a huge psychological advantage to training with champions. When you're on the practice court with players who've won Grand Slams and reached world number one, you begin to internalize that level of expectation. The top of the sport stops feeling distant or unreachable. It becomes real because you're standing across the net from people who've already achieved it. The Australian Open draw gives Eala a legitimate chance to make a statement. Last year, she lost in the first round of qualifying, meaning she's defending almost no ranking points. Every win in Melbourne will significantly boost her ranking. If she manages to win a couple of rounds, and given her current form, that's absolutely possible, she could break into the top 40 or even higher. Here's where things get even more interesting. Her ranking trajectory over the next few months is perfectly set up for a major leap. She's only defending 390 points through March, including her big run in Miami last year. This season, she'll be competing in much larger events, which means more opportunities to earn points and replace those that drop off. If she maintains anything close to her current level, she could find herself inside the top 32 by the time Roland Garros arrives in June. That would make her a seeded player at a Grand Slam, an absolutely insane rise for someone who was playing ITF events just a year ago. The Philippines is going wild over Eala's success, and rightly so. Tennis has never been a dominant sport there compared to basketball or boxing, but she's changing that narrative. Filipino fans traveled to Auckland to support her, and they'll be out in force again in Melbourne. One opponent, Donna Vekic, even commented on the overwhelming support, saying, "There's so many of you guys." That kind of passionate fan base can create pressure, but Eala handles it impressively well. She often speaks about how her family keeps her grounded, how they built the foundation for her career, and how the family-oriented culture of the Philippines shapes her approach to success. She's not demanding special treatment or letting the hype go to her head. She's simply working hard and letting her results do the talking. After defeating Vekic at the Kuyong Classic, a prestigious warm-up event in Melbourne, Eala said something that should worry her future opponents. "I want to say this is the best I've ever played. I think I'm in a good moment." That's not arrogance. It's confidence built on preparation and recent success. She beat Vekic twice in 1 week, first in a marathon 3-set match at the ASB Classic, and then again in straight sets at Kuyong. The improvement between those two matches highlights how quickly she's learning and adapting, which is the hallmark of an elite competitor. Some critics will argue that arriving with Alcaraz and Sinner is just good PR and doesn't actually mean anything for her tennis. That argument doesn't hold up. At this level, professional athletes don't waste time on publicity stunts. If Alcaraz and Sinner are spending time with Eala, it's because they see real value in practicing with her. They respect her game enough to believe she helps them prepare for their own matches. The elite tennis world is small. Everyone knows everyone, and reputations travel fast. If you're not good enough or don't have the right mentality, top players simply won't want to train with you. The fact that Eala has integrated into those circles speaks volumes about how she's viewed by her peers. There's also a practical side to this. During Grand Slams, players need high-quality practice partners to stay sharp between matches. Having someone like Eala, young, in great form, capable of replicating different styles, and unwilling to take it easy, makes her extremely valuable. This relationship benefits everyone involved. Alcaraz and Sinner get a hungry, talented partner who pushes them, while Eala gains invaluable experience training with the best players in the world and learning how champions prepare for Grand Slams. Looking ahead, Eala's schedule is packed with opportunity. After the Australian Open, she'll compete in the Middle East before heading into the North American swing. Even without winning tournaments, consistent quarterfinal and semi-final appearances would send her ranking soaring. Some people compare her rise to Emma Raducanu's meteoric breakthrough, but that comparison isn't quite accurate. Raducanu's US Open win was extraordinary but followed by injuries and overwhelming expectations. Eala's rise feels more sustainable, built on steady improvement rather than one magical run. Her training at the Nadal Academy gives her access to world-class facilities and coaching, and she's even mentioned receiving advice directly from Rafael Nadal himself. When one of the greatest players in tennis history takes the time to share insight with you, it's bound to accelerate your development. Technically, Eala's game is solid across the board. She has no glaring weaknesses. Her serve is improving, her ground strokes are powerful and consistent, her movement is excellent, and her mental game, arguably the most important aspect of tennis, is remarkably mature for a 20-year-old. What truly makes Eala dangerous is her fearlessness. She doesn't shy away from big moments or play intimidated tennis. When she faced Swiatek in Miami, she didn't act like she was just happy to be there. She played to win, and she succeeded. That mentality is rare. Many talented players tighten up against high-ranked opponents, but Eala trusts her game and goes for her shots. The Australian Open will be a serious test. Melbourne's hot. Physical conditions reward players who are both fit and mentally tough, and Eala checks both boxes. If she gets a favorable draw and avoids the very top seeds early, a deep run is absolutely possible. A fourth-round appearance is realistic, and even a quarter-final run wouldn't be shocking given her current level. And no matter how far she goes, one thing is already clear. Alex Eala is here to stay. She's not a one-hit wonder or a temporary feel-good story. She's a legitimate contender training with champions and competing like one. The Filipino flag is flying high in the tennis world right now, and it's flying because Eala is carrying it with pride, skill, and a calm, confident humility that defines future champions. Oh, there you have it. Alex Eala isn't just attending the Australian Open. She's arriving as a genuine force in women's tennis, backed by the respect of champions. If you're excited to watch her journey unfold and want more coverage of tennis's rising stars, hit that like button and subscribe. Who do you think will go further at the Australian Open? Eala, Alcaraz, or Sinner?